Hey, Steve Mignani here doing the Junkyard Crawl at Bernardston Auto Wrecking in Bernardstown, Massachusetts with a 1972 Oldsmobile Delta 88 Royale convertible. Now, 1972 was kind of a calm before the storm year. In fact, it was a very good year for Oldsmobile. Sales were up 34% over 1971 with 762,199 cars built, which allowed Oldsmobile to leapfrog from 5th place to 3rd place in Detroit. A very good year. And a third of those cars, or actually, about a third of those cars, 30% of them, I should say, were Delta 88s. Now keep in mind, there was the Delta 88, there was the 98. The 88 was the entry-level full-sized Oldsmobile, the B platform, bigger than the A platform mid-size Cutlass. So again, a very uncommon vehicle then as now. But here's the punchline. Of all 228,000 Delta 88s built, only 3,900, or about 1 in 60, was a convertible like this one here. So a very rare body style. Now the base price on this car when it was new was $4,387, which was about $1,000 more than a mid-size Cutlass convertible. So for, $4,300, you got yourself a full-size, large and in charge American party float vehicle. And again, 1973 brought us the OPEC oil embargo, and suddenly a rush to downsize for fuel economy, fuel efficiency. So this is kind of the very end of the party for full-sized convertible automobiles. They still made them, but again, it was kind of a time of innocence and bliss. Now, something kind of interesting on this one is a one-year only bumper design. Now, we know that as starting in 71, 72, the insurance industry started to say, hey, Detroit, we need you to build cars that don't cost us so much money when they get involved in low-speed collisions. So for 1 year only, full-size Oldsmobiles had this deal right here. And what is it? Well, we can see here some very thick pieces of interlocking spring steel right here, right here, right here. And these are all bowed, and that is spring metal. We can see right here, it's meant to slide. Why? Well, in a slow speed impact, this would bounce in and then bounce back. Don't believe me? Well, here's Road Test magazine right here, November 1971. It has all the new 72 cars inside, and of course the Lincoln Continental Mark IV, kind of cool with the history behind it. But inside, speaking of Oldsmobile, here's the story of the Delta 88. And again, this is the entry-level full-sized Olds. And says the Royale, which is what we have here, has distinctive body styling, which is the molding, plus entirely new Highline seat and door trim, knit fabrics, etc. But again, only 1 in 60 was a convertible. Very rare car, 3,900. Next page tells us about that front bumper. Kind of wacky. But again, the insurance industry was starting to rattle its cage. It says here, Oldsmobile's 1972 bumper for the full-size autos is unique to General Motors cars and apparently, at this writing, to the U.S. auto industry. While other GM divisions have revised bumpers for increased impact protection, Olds alone has a system using springs, 6 individual springs in all, to absorb the impact of minor collisions. The bumper will move back up to 1.5 inches, and since the flat interlocking elements are of spring steel, will immediately extend once again once the compressing force is removed. Going back to this bumper, we can see what they're talking about. Again, these things here are designed to slide, these little slots right here. So boing, boing, whether it works, I don't know. We know this for 1973, the next year. Here's the full line, Toronado 98, Delta 88 Royale, Cutlass, midsize, and of course the new Nova-based Omega for 73. But again, getting into the Delta 88 and Royale, we know that they went to impact absorbing hydraulic bumpers. So 1 year deal. For 73, they went with hydraulic bumper system. So we know that this 1 year deal was heavy and probably a stopgap while the engineers were finalizing the configuration of the hydraulic impact absorbers that would eventually be mandated throughout the industry. But here it is, one time, and this is heavy stuff. And again, right before OPEC, right before 1973, when gasoline almost doubled in price, this kind of engineering made sense. Speaking of that, 1972 was the first year for an engine designation in the VIN. On this one here, the Delta 88 Royale could be had with a 352 barrel or a 4-barrel, which would have had a Q code, or if you see a U, you're looking at the 455. And we got a U right here, so this is a 455. $188 well spent. There it is, the U right there. This is, again, the 455 4-barrel dual exhaust. It's an 8-to-1 compression motor, but again, 2 pipes out the back, I checked, and here is the single snorkel air cleaner. But again, 455 cubes right there. Here's the Rochester Quadrajet. We've seen it before. And by the way, these aren't the primaries and secondaries. That's the choke plate. And this is an air valve right here that helps to modulate secondary opening. Down low is where the primaries are and the secondaries. Minor, small primaries, big secondaries. The whole point of it, you cruise on the primaries, get good fuel economy, wide open, 800 CFM. So 1 carb for fuel efficiency and performance of a Quadrajet. But again, $455, $180 well spent. Now, so remember too that the full-sized 88 and 98 were body-on-frame cars. And we can see the front of the frame sticking out. Here is where the body bolts down to the frame. It rides on rubber pucks, bushings right in here between the frame and the body. Notoriously, they rot, they fall apart, and the body starts to wobble, squeak, and wiggle. Let's make our way down the passenger side and see what we can discover. As we do that, here's pieces of the grille. And again, 1972, weight was not a concern. This is die-cast metal, right? The heavy stuff. This has got to be 4 pounds, and there's 2 of them. And again, you know, by 1982, that's plastic. And these things weighed 1,000 pounds less. And no convertibles. But again, you can see right here the air conditioning, a pretty expensive factory option right there. There's the AC, the frigid air unit right there. Disc brakes up front. Here's the back side of that cast iron single piston Moraine type 11-inch disc. And this car was originally blue. Don't let the red fool you. Again, they always say resale red on your convertible. Last on the road in 1994 here in Massachusetts. And here is the top mechanism. We'll open the door, let Shane take a peek inside. And again, the Delta Royale, the 88, had a unique interior with tuck and roll, extra plushness, the Royale emblems on the doors here, and just to let you know you were driving the top of the line of the 88. Of course, the 98 rode on a longer wheelbase, but this is the entry-level full size, and with that 455, really a pretty luxurious and plush vehicle. And again, Olds was in number 3 position for 1972, thanks in large part, 30% of them being 88s, but again, only 3,900 or 1 in 60 was a convertible like this. And 3,900, that's a minute number. And in fact, you couldn't get a convertible in the 98 or the Tornado. So full-size Olds, the only one was the 88 Royale right here. And we can see here the rear quarter panel has been unceremoniously sliced away with a Sawzall, not pretty at all. Watch your tetanus right there. But here is a little cutaway of the corner of the trunk. And we can see, what do you have here? Oh, the Lindbergh baby. How cute. No, see. A bumper, no, just probably seat trim. Somebody's, we'll leave that alone, some baggage or something. And here at the back, we cannot blame Oldsmobile for this affront to taste right here. This is a bogus Continental kit, if you will. This is not an Oldsmobile accessory. Something you would have bought from probably J.C. Whitney. There's a little chain you pull, it comes down. It doesn't do a damn thing. It actually doesn't have a tire in it. It's just there to look classy with a K. I don't know. It's about as classy as a rat with a gold tooth, if you ask me. But to get inside the trunk, well, you have to fold it down to get in to get where the real spare tire is. But this sort of thing right here, you're not fooling me. You know, probably big in the hood, right? But with that said, 3,900 full-size Olds convertibles built, and a similar number of mid-sized Cutlasses as the convertible was pretty much going out of fashion, out of favor. Now in 1973, the Cutlass would wouldn't downsize, but become the colonnade style, a whole different thing. 73, the full-sized 88 and 98 would retain the similar basic styling, and you could still get a full-size convertible for another couple of years, although in the mid-size world, the Cutlass 72 is the final year for convertible, which makes a 72 full-size convertible even more unique and unusual. But again, 1 in 30 Delta Royales, 1 in 60, excuse me, was a convertible. Very, very rare car. 3,900 of these things built, and that's it. Pretty cool car. Sad to see it here in the boneyard, but if you want it, everything here is for sale. I stay out of the middle, but if you want to call Bernison Auto Wrecking, give them a call, do a deal. And that 455 is ripe for picking. It's a U-code. It's the real thing. It's here. Well, if you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and be sure to hit the like button, of course, and ring the bell so you're aware when the next video hits, which is tomorrow.